Hey everyone, so we've had about a week of the first patch of the preseason now, and we're going to have a look at career and see what Riot has cooked up for us with all of the changes, and I promise not everything in this video is going to be about Dark Harvest. We're actually going to start with something else, so we've got Mordekaiser with Shield Bash, and this is probably the best synergy for Shield Bash, I think, in the game at the moment. If you have something better, hit me, but I can't honestly think of anything. Mordekaiser basically has this permanent shield, right, which means perma armor and magic resist now from Shield Bash on top of it. It's also a bit more damage, which is great. It's not a ton on its own though, but you constantly proc it over and over, so it does add up a little bit more and you kind of do damage that way instead. He's not mega popular at all. Most of it is top lane, some of it is bot lane, and a little bit of mid lane as well, but you can take a bunch of keystones. You can go like Guardian. Obviously Dark Harvest is going to be good. Procs with his ult, by the way, so you kind of like guarantee a ghost. Aerie is still the default in career at the moment with the poke and the shield synergy, and also because you can slap in Nimbus Cloak, which is really good for chasing people down. It's a couple of things on top of that as well. It's not just Shield Bash, it's not just Dark Harvest. Build wise, we're abusing the buff Liandries, which I kind of want to say is a little bit too strong at the moment. All of your damage is going to burn people. The burn can proc Dark Harvest if you take that as well. It's just so good. I haven't tested it yet, but I imagine if you kill somebody and you get a ghost, that could probably proc Dark Harvest on somebody else as well. I wonder if you have like a dragon ghost, could that proc Dark Harvest as well? That would be pretty busted. The dragon is actually the other part as well, why it's working so well in the preseason. Like, it's not just that the dragon buffs are better early game, they are better rank 1 now, but the dragon will probably net you like 2 or 3 or more plates on the tower, which is a lot of gold as well. So like everything has kind of come together at the same time for Mord. So we're going to sweep into the bot lane now, and we're looking at Lucian and Vayne with Kleptomancy. The idea being that you trade your damage keystone for Kleptomancy, and the gold you get from that, you get more damage from items. It works a lot better versus weaker lanes that you can actually trade with constantly, and you're not going to die against when you like dash forward or tumble forward. You get the extra potions and the elixirs that are going to help you in lane, and that actually makes it a little bit easier to play, in my opinion. Like if you mess up a trade or something, it doesn't really matter, and you get about 2 kills worth of gold if you do it properly. So both of these are going to work because Kleptomancy now has 2 stacks on it whenever you use an ability. So if you RNG and you luck out, then you get gold bags. You can be rich. So for Lucian specifically, one auto after an ability consumes both charges, right? Because of his passive shots, they both count as great. In full combo, you're looking at 4 procs. Even though you use 3 abilities, it has a little internal cooldown. Now Vayne is different. Vayne is pretty cool because you can use 2 procs from a single Q. You auto attack first, you Q while that auto is in midair. That first auto attack then uses 1 charge, and the follow-up Q auto uses the second. So when you're using both of the charges every single time, the value is really good. It's a bit more difficult to use, but both have really good win rates with this keystone if you're using it properly. If you play on EU or NA, you probably know that Lux is really good, especially at lower ranks, but Lux is never good in career, like never at all. In the last 5 patches, she is ranked lower than the 30th best, and now she is 3rd. It's probably partly to do with a bit of a longer lane phase. In theory, you don't have to move around as much, and you can farm and you can poke a bit more, which is really good for Lux. It's not just Dark Harvest, but we are going to look at Dark Harvest Lux today. It's really good on her at the moment, even though it's a little bit hard to stack actually, but that doesn't really matter. The idea is that it adds to your poke when you're trying to finish them off. You can take Comet or something to get them low in the first place if you want to, but Dark Harvest is all about getting that kill more of the time, like after you get them low. Later, it's going to be amazing as well, so you scale really well. It makes her mid-game way more deadly. You can fully one-shot people when you're taking this, especially because you build so much AP. The page is actually really smart as well because you have coup de grace, right, which is more damage at low health and AP after you get a kill or something like that. Presence of Mind for the ultimate cooldown, and you have Ultimate Hunter for the ultimate cooldown as well, plus the refund built in, so you can ultimate all the time. By the way, this can also be support Lux actually. Both are really, really good. Just in general, Lux is stronger and the poke is stronger, especially if you're going to take Dark Harvest. We are going to look at Master Yi as well, and I don't think this is just funneling at all, but mid lane Lulu also has a really good win rate, so it's definitely going to be part of that. If you didn't know, for some stupid reason, Riot removed the funnel penalty, so you can now do it again if you want to do it. The way it works is Yi will farm the jungle and the mid lane at the same time, get loads of gold, and then Lulu just shields and keeps him alive while he kills everyone. It's pretty depressing. But anyway, on a nicer note, this is Dark Harvest again, of course, and it isn't just funneling. If you thought a Yi running at you was pretty scary in the first place with his ultimate and a few items, wait till you get to half health and you disappear, like you're gone, just absolutely dead. It's not just Dark Harvest actually. It's a cool keystone, it's really strong, but the new Rage Raid is actually really good with Yi as well. It's got the attack speed still, which is really good, but you're not missing the percentage bonus AD or AP that much because you didn't build that much, so that didn't matter. What it does do though is it makes your Blood Razor and your Blade hit for more. before, the percentage damage on that is physical damage. So not only do your auto attacks hurt a bit more and any crits if you build that, but with arm penetration from the Rage Blade, you actually deal more percentage damage and you heal for more on top of it. So after this one, we're going to swap away from Dark Harvest a little bit, I promise, but Katarina is really good at the moment. Bonkers with this keystone. One, she doesn't have to auto attack anymore to proc it, which is great for mages, right? Anything in her kit, even a Gunblade or Ignite, will proc that damage for her. But it also makes her mid-game damage stronger, and especially her teamfight damage, because she can go in, ultimate, proc Dark Harvest with that to kill somebody, but then also resets, right? And so does everything else in her kit, so she moves on to the next person, procs Dark Harvest again, and it keeps going until everybody is dead or you're dead. The new meta we have in preseason definitely suits as well, because she is strong early game, right? Like, that's great. You get your tower plates, you snowball a bit harder if you can win your lane, but even at just one item, she is deadly. So imagine having more gold on top of that. With Katarina as well, it's coup de grace, so you get 7% more damage to people under 40%, which is great synergy with Dark Harvest, right? Both of them help you finish somebody off. Another really cool thing with this, though, that I kind of like briefly mentioned with Lux, is that it also gives you 15 AP for 10 seconds after a kill or assist. I don't think most people actually know that, but again, it feeds into the reset kind of idea of things. So like, it's helping you pick up another kill after that with coup de grace and Dark Harvest, and also the rest of your kit resetting. Let's look at support now, and Sona is like borderline busted at the moment, which probably sounds really weird, right? But she's probably one of the strongest champions in the entire game. You can take anything and it works, like seriously. You build whatever keystone, it really doesn't matter. Aerie is going to be default because it's damage for your poke, but it's also shielding for allies, and it's really good synergy with pretty much everything that you're going to do in the game. Kleptomancy is actually another good choice, and that's kind of what we're going to focus on a bit more. It actually wins more. Versus weaker lanes, you can Q and auto attack a few times for harass, but you're getting rich at the same time. The reason that matters is because Sona has one of the best scaling kits of any support, and a sensor or a redemption or AP earlier into the game makes a massive difference. It's going to make her heal for more, but also actually her damage boost is going to be bigger for allies. Dark Harvest, surprise, surprise, also works on Sona as well, especially with the themes, because you have more AP, and then that AP actually buffs Dark Harvest even more to make it do more damage. But you can poke first, obviously, get them a bit low. Your Q can proc this, like anything can. It makes you way more deadly. Lane phase lasting a bit longer and having more combat mechanics like your bounties and stuff definitely helps Sona as a pick. Like, your lane phase is really not that good, but you're playing for team fights, so the closer you get to that, the better. If you follow my videos at all, you'll know that Katarina loves Elise. She's aggressive, she spikes early, she can dive like a monster, but she hasn't been that good for a while. The diving part is really a heavy focus in Katarina. It's not something that we always see over here, but you can dodge aggro with the repel. So you dive, you kill them, you jump up, you drop aggro, and you leave. It's really good. The thing is, now if you do that, you get a tower plate or two afterwards. It's even more gold, so it makes that playstyle much better, and in turn kind of makes Elise better. The other side though is Dark Harvest. Obviously, Elise needs pretty much to one-shot somebody, or she's going to be useless for the rest of the fight. Like, after your full combo, you don't really have anything left. So your abilities are enough to get them low for sure. You're always going to like burst somebody if you hit that cocoon, but now Dark Harvest is there to finish, and the big thing is that it also scales very well with AP. Elise stacks AP with her build so she doesn't fall off as hard, right? And basically taking this keystone means that you do stand a chance to one-shot somebody or do a very hefty chunk to people even later, where you'd normally be like a walking ward. I got absolutely crushed, like absolutely crushed by this the other day. We're going to take a look at a slightly more fun support, one of my favorites, Xerath. All of these poke supports, Zyra, Brand, Xerath, even stuff like Lux and Karma, they're all amazing in the lane phase where they can poke 2v2, and the lane phase is a bit longer. They're naturally going to be a bit better because of that, and Doran's shield as well, which was a good counter to those champions, is worse in general, so that also helps. Dark Harvest is another layer though to this that is more pressure when they are lower, meaning you're more likely to force them out of lane or at least get the kill from it, which means you get more tower plates. It actually scales really well, surprisingly, and you kind of turn into basically a second mid laner, which is definitely not going to be a bad thing for your team in this meta where you kind of want damage. Tower plates are going to reward your poke a little bit more, like we talked about, but even if you can't pick up kills, it's not going to be the end of the world. Like, it's great if you can, but if not, you get some plates and you still get some gold, which is really good. But it seems like poke champions are just a lot better in preseason. Xerath is actually also really good. One of the reasons we're focusing on him is because of his passive. Mana regen was nerfed in general a while ago for mages, but with that, you're able to poke for longer now, which is more chance to get a Dark Harvest proc and kind of snowball the lane a bit more. Also, if your AD runs Dark Harvest as well, you're both stacking and both doing damage bot lane. The double whammy part of that is brutal, and it has actually really good synergy. Viktor is kind of insane right now. Viktor in general is amazing. Kleptomancy is better at the moment, and especially in melee matchups, you can definitely use that, but shield bash is really good. Viktor has always scaled really well. His damage is bonkers. His Q gets to like a 2-second cooldown with high damage and a shield and move speed, right? That's part of the problem. That is kind of where shield bash comes in. You're more tanky during that, but you also have a lot more damage. It works because it's on a 2-second cooldown, so even though it isn't massive damage like individually, you're applying it literally the entire fight basically. Shield bash just doesn't have a cooldown. That's the point, and it only requires a new shield to be active, right? Which is every single single time because the shield falls off and then you put it back on. There is another part of the school as well though that I kind of want to talk about. So the shield is increased by mana and AP for Viktor anyway. So the later the game goes, the bigger it is from both of those. With shield bash though, that's also better because the damage is based on the shield amount. So not only does AP give you more damage normally, it actually makes your shield bigger and then makes shield bash do more damage as well, even though there's no direct AP ratio on it, if that makes sense. I've saved the most overpowered to last, I think. Karthus is way too strong in the preseason. You can play in bot lane, mid lane, even top lane, probably even jungle. There are a lot of different ways to do this, so I'll try to explain a bit of each as well. But basically, he's had a string of buffs that make him a lot stronger even before the preseason hit. You've got Presence of Mind that was kind of like reworked a little while ago, restoring 10% of your ultimate cooldown and 20% max mana when you pick up a kill or assist, which is perfect for his ultimate. Avery works well because it's constant poke, but now that we have Dark Harvest as well, it makes your ultimate way more brutal and you're more likely to pick up a few kills. Karthus stacks a lot of damage, which feeds Dark Harvest as well. Plus, it will always trigger on the lowest health enemy, which means it's more likely to get the kill and pick up the reset as well, which is why we were running Predator before. It's basically a lot like that. It's kind of the same thing as Lux that we talked about. With that page, you have Coup de Grace, so more damage, low health, and AP afterwards. Presence of Mind for the ultimate cooldown, and Ultimate Hunter for the ultimate cooldown as well. So you're actually using it a lot more in general, and it's going to apply Dark Harvest every single time. Build-wise, we have two choices. So Rod of Ages is really good, but if you're going to play a bot lane where you have a support to kind of help you early game, you can actually skip that and you can go straight from Morello for a much quicker power spike with more penetration, which is really good versus AD carries. So those are the 10 that I wanted to look at from career. But just quickly before we end the video, I thought I'd let you know that the laptop that I have, the GS73 Stealth, the MSI one, is on a Black Friday sale right now, and it's a really good deal. There are loads of MSI laptops out there right now that you can take a look at in case you're looking to grab one, and I'll chuck a link down below so you can have a look for yourself. Thank you for watching the video until the very end, but for now I will leave you with the robots.